Okay, so apologies for the delay. I'm sorry if I interrupted. Did you want to go ahead and finish what you're saying? Because it sounded like this was related to the use of the editor. So.
No, so there were two questions. One was how do you place multiple tiles horizontally, which is where I explained that you can use the arrow keys to move around and drop the tiles onto the grid. But the other question that came up was, is there a way to delete multiple tiles efficiently?
That's a good question. So, the closest we have right now, what would be ideal is like something where it's like, I'd like to just select a whole bunch, press one button, right? The closest we have is that if you increase the size of the cursor using the Alt plus, Alt minus, you can move over multiple things, press enter to select a bunch, and then you can delete each one by just pressing delete, it'll move you to the next one, press delete, and move you to the next one. But that's still a little clunky. So if that's something that, for this or for anything else that you do in the editor that feels like, you know, this is a little clunky, or it's like, I can do this a certain way, but I wish there was a better way, or I can't, there's something I want to do and I just can't do it. We're going to be looking for active feedback. So this is something you can tell me at the moment too, but we're going to have like actual feedback sessions later in the week, I believe. So definitely like, I will try and hold on to anything you give me now, but if you give it to us during that session, then that's the best way to make sure that we have it recorded. Which is a very long-winded way of saying it's not a very convenient way to delete multiple things. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. So I am sharing my computer's sound, but I currently do not have the screen reader on. Which actually, for this first step, I'm going to be basically just showing you guys the way to get started before we do a whole bunch. So let me start by turning the screen reader on.
Welcome to NVDA dialog. Welcome to NV. Navigate collapse.
So a few things. I want to make a brand new scene project. I have one that I already have open, but I'm not going to use this one because I've already just messed with it a little bit. I want just a completely blank slate. I'm going to go ahead and right-click on this.
Pop-up menu alt. Build one.
So
projects tree view.
I just right-clicked on
let me stop you there for one moment.
Yes.
Which is that fundamentally, I found very a different interaction modality with hotkeys in Quorum Studio. So what happens is, usually, let's say if you're in Word or Eclipse or anything else, you press Alt F simultaneously and you get the file menu.
Yeah.
In Quorum Studio, it's not that way. You press Alt, then I release Alt and sort of press F, then that's when I get the menu.
I was wondering about that too, actually.
Okay. That's actually really helpful to know. So more, you're missing hotkeys to go directly to the.
No, no. I'm missing the way of interacting with the top menu is not standard. Let's say.
I understand what you're saying now. Okay. Because you're saying that as opposed to just doing Alt F, you have to press release it, and then you're going up to the menu, and you're expected to press E then.
Yes. Okay. And that's been there since the beta. It's one of those things that sort of failed to ask about.
Yeah.
But it's been there forever.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry it's not been fixed yet. Knowing that it's an active issue helps for us, just because we have limited resources to go and fix things.
Yeah.
So like this is the same thing with like first letter navigation. Is 100% a thing we want in the editor. We just haven't gotten around to it yet. We're hoping to get it in for this next patch 2.1. But okay, I appreciate you telling me about that. I'll try. I'll see if I can hit that at the same time that we're doing the first letter navigation. What I just did here, I basically just closed the existing project. I'm going to go ahead and close the tabs that are open.
Go tabs, tab control. Scene.q, close button.
I just went ahead and I closed the tabs as well. So using the project tree, just right-clicked on it, selected close on the project, and then close the two tabs. I'm going to go ahead and make a brand new project. So that's going to be Control N.
New project templates tree view. Level 2 blank A blank app.
Where is that close button?
The close button on the project is if you select the project in the tree and then open the context menu, which should be standard for Windows, and I forget what the key is off the top of my head.
I have an see, that was another thing. So I'm whenever I use the applications key, I have an application key built into the keyboard. It never works. I suppose I haven't tried with Shift F10, which is the
Yeah, Shift F10 is
yeah.
what I is the one we support.
Gotcha.
Interesting. I don't think we've done any testing with the application key. Is that the key? It's just like one tap, open the context menu for.
Yeah, it's usually
Yep,
like just
yep.
to the left of an Alt key on the right side of the keyboard.
Gotcha.
Like,
Okay, that's
not all
helpful to know.
keyboards have it, but
Because of how our stuff is designed, we're, some of the benefits of using our stuff is that like we're hardware accelerated, and some of the downsides are we're not using the standard Windows stuff, so we don't pick up some of the signals that it sends for free. So we get tripped up by that sometimes, but we can go and we can add that in. So before I forget that.
Start window. Cortana window. Quorum Studio 2.
I'm not going to pop open Notepad and start writing things on the recording here, but okay, I'll add that to the bug tracker so that we can hopefully get that in for the next patch. Shift F10, does Shift F10 work for you correctly? If you're on the tree item?
let me see.
Okay. While you're going and doing that, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make this scene. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move down to the scenes.
Main scene expand level 2 blank scene this project. Name edit blank scene application.
I'm also intending to use this for basically the entirety of Epic. So I'm going to just go ahead and call this
blank scene applications.
This is going to be our Epic game.
E left I Q G E.
William, I've noticed that when I right-click on a project name and I go to properties and try to rename it, it doesn't change the name that's listed on the left.
Oh, yeah. So you're talking about, let me go to the same place. So you right-click on it.
Pop-up menu Alt. Build 1 of 7. Tab pane tab control.
Are you talking about this program name that's right here?
Yeah.
So this doesn't rename the project in the tree or anything. What this does is when you make the project, it creates a file that you can execute it from. And by default, it's called default.jar. This changes the name of that file that you produce.
Oh, okay. So how would I rename it otherwise, like after I create it? Is there a way to?
We don't have a convenient way to do that right now. Is that something that you'd like to have?
Maybe. That'd be nice, but okay. I'll just remember to name it when I create them. That's okay.
Yeah.
Can you rename it outside of the, just from the file?
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could rename it by going to the project.qp file, opening it in like Notepad or something. You could change the name of the project there. You would probably need to also change the name of the folders if you want them to be consistent, which is why it's a little bit of a hassle, which is why I said we don't have a convenient way to do it. But you could do it that way if you wanted to.
That might have been why I was running into problems, because I changed the default name and then I was having some other issues. So
gotcha. Yeah, if you're having issues, feel free to let me know. We don't, as opposed to normal epics, we don't have like, there's no one in this room that can like walk in and double check to like take a look at your computer while we're working, just because things are a little bit funky right now. So I'm happy to answer questions. Hopefully we're not going to get bogged down too much, but I feel like we're going to have plenty of time to build and play with stuff here. So let me go ahead and close out of the properties here.
Projects tree view. Level 1 Epic game collapsed 1 of 1. Expanded. Expand. Level 3 scene.qs1. Code tabs tab control. Scene.qs tab. Scene.qs00.
So to start off, I have just gone to the scene.qs file inside the scenes folder of my new project. This is where we're going to be building our map for our game. And so a lot of the stuff that we need in order to build stuff here, I've already talked to you guys about. This is the use of the palette and using that scene tab so you can see what's already in there. At this point, what I want is I want to know that you guys are able to do it. And so there's only a couple of things that we really need to do together here. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to ask you guys, help me out here. I want to place a tile of grass somewhere in my scene. So how do I do that?
You will go to the scene. Where are you right now?
So right now I am currently located in the scene. If I move the cursor.
32-0. 32-32.
Okay.
So I'm in the scene.
Control tab twice.
Sure. So we're going to go back to the project tree and we're going to control tab.
Projects tree view. Scene palette tree view.
So we're
Primitives
in the
2D
palette
collapsed
tab.
1.
We're in the palette tab.
Go
now,
down.
Character Dungeon Nature Summer 2D collapsed 4 of 4
Yeah,
level 1.
expand that.
Expanded.
Nature Summer.
Level 2 decoration collapsed 1 of 6.
Go down.
Dirt grass collapsed 3 of 6 level 2.
Expand
Expanded.
that.
Level 3 grass 1 of 25.
Yeah, take your pick. Because that's
Sorry,
exactly where I am.
Yep, sorry to interrupt you, Pranav. So I have a couple of different ways I could place this. So if I wanted to do this with the mouse, I could just drag it over. Or alternatively with the keyboard, and this is what Pranav was just talking about when I was going and getting record permission from Stefik. If I go ahead and press the Enter key.
Grassy flat, grassy tile.
I am now placing grass tiles. So if I press Enter where I am right now.
Placed grass, grass 1.
I have just placed one tile. If I move the arrow.
6432.
I'm still placing tiles, so I could go and I could place a whole bunch of these tiles all at once by move it over, press Enter.
Placed grass 1. 9632. Placed grass 2. 128. Placed grass 3.
This is how you can place a lot of objects all at once of the same type. And so before we get to building something, there's one other thing that I want to tell you guys, something I haven't told you guys yet. When we're actually getting to moving our character around, we're going to be using the physics system. The reason why this matters while we're dealing with these tiles right now is related to the properties these tiles have by default. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press cancel. I'm going to press escape to cancel placement of the grass tiles.
Canceled placement. Code tabs tab control. Scene.qs tab. Scene.qs grass 3, 12832. Press enter to select items.
From here, I'm going to do what the screen reader just told me I can do. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to select this item.
Grass 3 1 of 1, 128.0, 32.0, 0.0.
I have a whole bunch of properties that are available to me in the properties dialog on the right side of the screen, which I can jump to if I press Control P.
Name edit selected grass 3.
There's a bunch of things I can do in here. The stuff that's most important to what I'm talking about right now is this physics section down at the bottom. You can see that if I go down to physics enabled.
X, Y, Z, X, Y, rotation, physics enabled checkbox not checked.
By default, there are no physics on the grass. This is because we don't really want to do anything with the physics on the grass. If I have a player character, I should be able to walk through the grass. I should be able to move through the grass. I don't want it to be having any kind of impact on our character. But for our top-down RPG, there are some things I might reasonably expect to act as walls or barriers. And so by default, inside of this Nature Summer 2D category on the palette, there are a few things which automatically have their physics enabled and will block our character from moving around once we get to the later stuff in the later sessions. In particular, this is the the water tiles and the stone tiles. The solid water and solid stone tiles will both block character movement because they have physics enabled on them. Similarly, the stuff in the decoration subcategory, let me go ahead and open that up.
Scene palette tree view. Level 2 decoration expanded 1 of 6.
So you can see we have just like shrubs, rocks, logs, trees, the large things that are in here. So basically everything except those mushrooms also has physics enabled and is going to block your character movement. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys, let's start building some kind of map, each of us on our own. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off the screen reader for this. I'm going to build on my end too. Let's go ahead and start building something together. And the goal is basically to have something that a player character can walk around and explore. For my particular one, my intent is I'm going to build basically an island, and I'm going to have water all along the outside edges that's going to stop the player from moving off of the screen. You can do the same, or you could choose that if you want to, for your game, you could have it entirely possible to walk off the edges. Maybe in the long term, you want to be able to move the camera and like pan around, move to other areas, right? Or if we wanted to do something like, I totally forgot to answer your question earlier, Pranav. We want to do something like a side scroller where it's literally you are standing on like a platform or something, and then you can move to the left or right, and the camera moves left or right with you to explore the new area. Something like that, you would want to leave the
new notification from Slack.
So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn up the screen reader. I'm going to let everyone start placing some things. If at any point you have a question, let me know, and then we can step through it together.
I do have one question.
Yes.
If I may. So I was kind of asking about this too. So pressing the multiple tiles at once, what I meant by that question is that, let's say that for the sake of question, I wanted to place the tile from 00, coordinate 00
Yep.
to tile 44, which is diagonally across. And then, so basically select the area of square that we want to place the same tile, and then just hit something and boom, 16 tiles on. Can we do that at this point?
We do not have anything to do that right now, no. Although
Okay.
that makes a lot of sense to have in the editor.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's totally legitimate, and that would be really helpful to have. So a lot of this stuff, this is our very first pass on the system, so having feedback from you guys is really helpful for us to know on what things should go in the next pass, right? So.
Okay, I am sort of stuck in the sense that I've chosen grass.
Yes.
I've hit the enter key. It's given me the description. Okay.
It's giving you the description.
So what I also think should happen is it should be placed on the grid, or should it not be on the grid? Because I've opened scene QS.
All right, you're in scene.qs. Are you placing an item, or did you select one that's already there?
I'm placing an item.
If you press enter and you're using the preview, like you're currently placing one, it should tell you that you placed one whenever you press enter. It shouldn't be.
That's not what's happening. So I'm in the tree view with all the.
Okay, you're in the tree view, sure.
Items, okay, and I chose dirt rock corner top right.
Sure.
Okay. Now I press the enter key. It says a dirt tile with something on the top right corner, which is fine.
Yeah.
Now, this is still not placed.
Yeah.
New notification from Slack.
How am I supposed to place this? Do I hit the enter key again?
Yeah, so at this point, when it's giving you the description, it's telling you that you have selected that tile, you are ready to start placing it in the scene. But it sounds like that's not clear.
Okay, yeah, so it's giving me the description, so it's ready for, now how do I go place it? Am I automatically in the scene?
So at this point, you should automatically be in the scene. So if you use the arrows, it should start telling you where you are.
Yeah, now that's the whole thing. It's not telling me where I am.
Okay, using the arrows isn't doing anything.
Same things happen to me too. I press enter on it, gives me the description, and then pressing the arrow keys does nothing for me. It's not auto switching into the scene.
Interesting. Could I ask? I don't know if you guys can, because you guys might not have permission to share screen.
You want a screen share?
Yeah, I was going to ask you to share screen.
Hang on, let's try it.
Let me.
Quorum Studio, Quorum Studio, edit, stop, tool.
Share screen. Screen.
Okay, cool. I can see.
You see something?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on Quorum Studio. And I'm moving my arrow keys. I hear nothing.
Interesting.
So I go back to the project view. Can you see me going back to the project view?
You're in the project tree.
Yeah?
You're in the palette, yeah.
Grass, dirt, corner, top left. Okay, I've pressed enter. It's spoken the description. And now what should happen is if I move the arrow keys, it should tell me where I am, but that's not what's happening. Okay, interesting. Let me try one more thing.
Yeah, this doesn't look like user error or anything. Like, this looks like a bug. And you said that you're running into this as well, Tim?
Yes.
Sorry, do you prefer Tim or Timothy?
Tim's fine.
Okay. Could I ask you
Tim, are you using a screen reader? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, could I ask you, try save and restart and see if you're still having the issue.
You mean save the game?
Yeah, save the game, just Control S, and then
Saved
Does
it.
it make any difference if the properties window is still open or anything?
It shouldn't, no. The properties window should open automatically so that you can sort of eyeball it.
Mhm.
I have exited Quorum Studio.
When this pops up, are you getting the pithy little messages that Stefik put in about it's like ironing Baby Yoda and harvesting garden gnomes and stuff like that?
No.
That doesn't pop up? It's possible.
Scene.
One of the ways that we report information to the screen reader has been having intermittent issues because we send the message to the screen reader and it doesn't respond to them. So we haven't been able to nail
Yeah.
it down exactly.
I've opened the scene editor, as you can see,
Yeah.
and when I am moving around, nothing happens.
Oh, the cursor's not even telling you anything now.
No.
I see you
It
moving
said
it.
00 when I opened it. But which version of NVDA are you running?
That's a good question. Check.
NVDA key N help about. That should give you.
So it looks like this is NVDA version 2020.1.
I think I have the same. Let me check.
Oh, I'm running 2019 still. I forgot that I never updated because
Still.
there was a plugin that I didn't want to lose.
Okay.
Because the NVDA SDK got updated and broke a bunch of plugins. And
Mouse mode on.
All right. I am trying narrator so that we can actually get past this.
Asterisk untitled. Notepad with Quorum Studio.
Narrator might be a little unstable with
Projects.
Quorum Studio. We've had problems with it in the past.
US.
let me try loading JAWS and let me see here if I'm gonna.
It's possible too that if you closed Quorum Studio and restarted the screen reader, that might fix it. We've had some success with that in the past, but that's obviously like a band-aid, like a workaround. But were you having this issue? Was it never voicing to you before? Because you said you played with the
I've played with
environment
it.
before, right?
It's sort of voiced it. I don't recall when, but it did voice it. Okay. Now it's doing it. I restarted NVDA. 3232, grass 6430. Oh,
Okay.
ooh, okay. Now let me stop sharing my screen.
Yeah. Thank you for helping just like figure out what's going on. Just because it's trying to fix bugs with screen readers can be a real hassle because they all they don't act the same way.
No, I agree.
Well, we'll try and get this cleaned up, obviously.
Can I ask a question about the
Yes.
scenes? I deleted out some of the pieces that I had added. And then when I go back to that scene, it's like now I have two scenes going on.
Oh, if you
What did I
clicked on
do
the
wrong?
if you clicked on the scene from the projects and it was already open, it tries to open it a second time, which is a bug that we should have fixed soon, but it didn't get into the release. Do you have two scene.qs tabs at the top?
Yeah, I do, and they're different. So
yeah, close whichever
it's like
one
it's not
seems,
retaining any that I'm deleting.
Yeah, go ahead and close whichever one you just opened that isn't retaining the information correctly. Go to the other one and then just click your save button and it should work. I'd say more, but apparently the breakout room's about to close in 10 seconds. So I think
Okay.
we're getting kicked out. We didn't get as far as I'd hoped because of just some of the delays we ran into, but we'll hit this stuff up in the next session tomorrow.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, great. Okay, so I think everybody or almost everybody is back. So there's just to kind of wrap up for this particular session for right now, there's a couple points of order. One is the next thing on the schedule is office hours, and that is at 1 o'clock. So that's in 1 hour. And that session is at a different link, which is Amanda's link. And just for simplicity, I'm going to dump that into the chat on Zoom. And I will also put it in Slack as well in the general channel so that you can get in for the office hour session. Amanda, you want to say very briefly what it is again, just so everybody has?
The idea is I'll be answering questions and talking to you about the AP Computer Science Principles curriculum. And if you are a Washington teacher, you might really want to hop in because there's some neat opportunities for our Washington students through that class.
Awesome. And in those sessions for office hours too, if you have other questions about anything that we've talked about today, of course, people are willing to help you with that too. That's the point. If you'd like to sneeze, that's also acceptable, but only.
Bless you. That was my boyfriend.
That was a
that's
mighty
fair.
sneeze.
A mighty sneeze. Only one sneeze is allowed, not two. Just be aware.
Only one sneeze a day, apparently.
Yeah, that's right. So, oh yeah, Pranav, you were bounced out of the advanced room because we're on to the next break session, so that's why. Besides that, the homework for everybody for tonight is to try to get a map up and running. That's the idea. So that by the morning, all of us have some kind of map put together. You don't have to code anything. You don't have to do anything like that, but try to get some kind of a map, however that works for you, whether it's with a keyboard or mouse or you use the screen reader, whatever it is. Try to get some kind of a map put together so that when you come back in the morning, you have something ready to go, a scene of some kind that you can use for the rest of the session. And as a reminder, both for the advanced and the learning track, if you just cannot get the damn thing to work, we've put on GitHub a default map that you can use. And I want to mention very briefly where that is again, just in case you didn't talk about it in the advanced. And that is for tomorrow, if I share screen and I put it up, it's on the link that I put in the Zoom, which is github.com/Quorum, QORF/EPIQ, EPIQ. And inside of that, there's a folder called Scenes, and the default one is in Build a Role-Playing Game. And Build a Role-Playing Game has under the Scenes tab a scene, and that scene can be loaded just like any of the others. Or you can just download it as a normal Quorum project, and then you're good to go. So if you cannot get it working, you have a working one available for you to use for EPIQ, and that is all Creative Commons or BSD or whatever the code is, so you can use it to your heart's content. Any questions by anybody? Do we know what our goal is for the morning? Our learning objective: get a map built of some kind so that you're good to go for tomorrow morning. Everybody with me? All right, and then you've got your office hours if you'd like it for that. And the final thing I'll mention, don't forget, we've social session.
Oh,
Oh, you're lagging.
We will never know about the social session.
No, social session at 4 Pacific time.
all right.
And how many hours is that?
Dude, I don't know. You're like 12? 4 a.m. 4 a.m.
The social hour is for an
Come
hour.
have a drink at
Actually,
4 a.m.
actually, it's 12.
It lasts an
I
hour.
think it's like 4:30. So, good
Yeah.
luck with that, Pranav.
Yeah, it's definitely past your bedtime, Pranav, but you're totally welcome anyway if you can stay up. So.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly.
Also wanted to just throw it out there that as soon as we log off of this, I will just be turning on my Zoom channel. If anybody wants to just hang out or get help with the maps before I do CSP stuff or whatever, I'm fine with it. I'm bored and I want to talk to somebody other than my boyfriend. So, you know, there's that.
I'm going to go get lunch after this particular call, and then I will more than likely spend the rest of my day looking for little bugs that I ran into during my last session. So, and then hopefully, like as is tradition, hopefully we will put out a patch by the end of the day, and then we'll be all happy campers in the morning. So,
Thanks
is
for your
tradition.
hard work on this, Dr. Stefan.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. I'm honored to be able to work with the community is the God's honest truth. I really enjoy this every year. And the best way to find bugs is to have, I don't know, present it to people and have lots of people use it. That is also tradition. So I sort of think that that's okay. In any case, hey, thank you to everybody for coming. We didn't know if anybody would show up for online EPIQ. That was just like a big question mark for the committee. And so I'm super, super pleased not only to see all of your shining black boxes, even though I can't see your faces right now, but in addition, that all of you showed up and that I've seen some new faces that I'm super excited about, like people from overseas and all sorts of stuff. So thank you for actually coming. It's super great. Feel free to come to office hours. I will be there at the social hour later tonight. And we will talk, worst case scenario, if I don't see you tonight, I will see you in the morning for the next session. The next session in the morning is placing characters on your map, which is why you need a map in order to get started with.
And what time is that actually really going to be?
That is all the sessions. That was a mix up in the logistics email, total accident. It starts at 8 a.m. Pacific every morning.
All right. So.
And that's true for each day. It was intended to start at 8 a.m. Pacific every single day until noon, so that it's a 4-hour block. So we're not staring at Zoom all day long is the idea. So, okay, all right.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Hey,
And thank you, everybody.
Hey, William.
Thank you, Andy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hey,
go ahead.
when I closed out of that and did a save and went ahead and clicked on that scene again, the old scene still came up in addition to the new one. Do you know why that would be?
So this is related to the issue where you had the two scene tabs that were both open?
Yep. So I closed out of the one scene that I didn't want. I saved the all parts of the project.
Yeah.
And then when I double click on the scene.qs again, the old one comes up in another tab
Yeah,
again.
that's something that we need to fix. Go ahead and just click the tab at the top of click the existing scene.qs tab, and that'll take you to the one that's already open. It's a bug that clicking on scene.qs in the tree again is bringing it up a second time in a separate tab.
Okay, so just don't do that.
Yeah.
Just simply click on the tab at the top.
Yeah, sorry for the...
In our tracker, we know about it, but we didn't have a chance to fix it before EPIQ.
Okay, great, thanks. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing anything wrong.
No, that's on us.
That's on
All
us.
right, thanks a lot.
Okay, I'm going to close out this session and or at the social hour. 1 drink minimum. Water if you prefer. So or not. Cheers. Bye, everybody.
Talk to you guys later.
See ya.